Now, shockingly, GB News presenter and Trick Awards winner Nigel Farage could have his bank account frozen imminently. Or closed, I think I should say, really. He's been with the same banking company since the 1990s, and they have explained to him that it was, quote, a commercial decision. I'm going to throw it over to Nigel, actually. Here he is.
I have been with the same banking group since 1980. I've had my personal accounts with them since that date, and my business accounts right through the 1990s, when I worked in the City of London, and in recent years, too. I'm with one of the subsidiaries of this big banking group, one with a very prestigious name, but I won't name them just yet. I got a phone call a couple of months ago to say, we are closing your accounts. I asked why. No reason was given. I was told a letter would come which would explain everything. The letter came through and simply said, we are closing your accounts. We want to finish it all by a date, which is around about now. I didn't quite know what to make of it. I complained. I emailed the chairman. A lackey phoned me to say that it was a commercial decision, which I have to say, I don't believe for a single moment.
Look, this is incredibly sinister, OK? So one day, out of the blue, you can get told that your bank account could be shut. And you go round to 7 other banks. They say, no, we're not doing that either. This surely is based around who Nigel Farage is, as opposed to, I would imagine, the substance of his bank account. General Secretary of the Free Speech Union, Toby Young, joins me now. Toby, what's your view on this? Because I just feel like this is quite chilling, really.
It is extremely chilling. It's the kind of thing we'd expect to happen in China, but not the kind of thing we'd expect to happen in a Western liberal democracy. It sounds like the Chinese social credit system, whereby if you say something the communist authorities disapprove of, you lose access to your bank accounts. It happened to me, Patrick, last year. PayPal debanked me, the Free Speech Union, and the Daily Skeptic, my news publishing site. And only after I kicked up an enormous stink about it did they then restore my accounts. But since then, the Free Speech Union has been lobbying the Treasury to change the financial regulations to make it impossible for payment services providers to withdraw custom from people purely on their political beliefs. And we see that happening more and more. It's shocking and it's sinister. It's a new sinister form of cancel culture.
I mean, it's absolutely outrageous, though, isn't it? Because in theory, I know Nigel is obviously very exposed, and he goes on to say that this is one of the key issues. There was an EU thing about a politically exposed person, right? But actually, if you extrapolate that out, I mean, that could be anyone, really. I mean, you could go right down to your local councillor. I suppose, I mean, I'm not a member of a political party, but I spend most of my days talking about politics. Could that be me? You know, and it would appear to be very easy for a bank to go, we are financially cancelling you, and then for you to not be able to go with any other bank anywhere in this country. And then the natural step would have to be you'd probably have to leave the country, wouldn't you? Which is pretty brutal.
It's pretty brutal. And even if Nigel was to move to France, he has no guarantee that he could open a bank account in France. At least Nigel was given some notice by his bank that they wanted to dispose of his custom. We had a member of the Free Speech Union contacted me earlier this week, Patrick, who discovered that his bank account had been closed when he tried to pay for something in a supermarket. His card was declined. He called up the bank and they said, we've closed your account because we disapprove of your views on the trans issue. Another person contacted me today. The Yorkshire Building Society. They asked their customers for feedback on their website. During Pride Month, they, of course, festooned the website with rainbow flags. He gave some feedback on this, and he didn't see why they were taking sides on this contentious political issue. Why didn't they just stick to their knitting? And they withdraw. They decided to close all his accounts as a consequence. They asked for feedback. He gave it to them. He didn't realise that if he expressed the wrong opinion, he'd be debanked. But that's what happened to him. It's extraordinary. It's happening all the time.
Well, when you try to debunk, you get debanked. And that seems to be a massive issue, doesn't it, really, on this? Look, just to express again, Toby, this, the key point here is that we, in this, bear in mind that a theme throughout today's show has been, oh, we can't possibly deport people for processing in Rwanda because it's this unsafe country that can't be trusted, right? And the conversation that we've just had is about if you express the wrong kind of view, your bank will shut you down. I mean, we're not great at the minute, are we, over here, when it comes to free speech?
No, I mean, frankly, Patrick, if I was an asylum seeker and arrived on Britain's shores in a small boat and I was deported to Rwanda, I'd actually be quite pleased, I think. Rwanda, for all its shortcomings, I think probably has more respect for free speech than we do now. I mean, it is an extraordinary state of affairs.